Hi, everybody. This is Joy Lingerie, and today we have something a little different. We have a hip hop, aka rapper from California, and I would like to give a shout out to our sponsor, Luscious Moss, and it is located in Edgewood, Washington, owned and operated by Chad Christ. And he does mostly drum tracks and guitar, but he's tried to create an environment that is inducive to creativity, and relaxing atmosphere that just makes us just want to create and do your music. So you can always find him online, certainly on Facebook, and let him know you're interested. So, all right. So, hi everybody. Today we have Edward Travis Hartman as our guest. He's in the hip hop world. He is also a rapper, writes his own music. So he is a singer and songwriter. I believe that's what they call you guys in rap.
Yes, that's correct.
And I'd like to welcome you here and thank you for showing up on the show. I think we do have at least one listener here at this moment. All I want to say to the listeners is if you've tuned in and you make a comment, please do identify yourself so we can answer you.
All right.
So, all right, are you ready?
I'm ready. Let's do this thing.
Okay.
Right.
I understand you come from California,
Yes.
and I'm in the Bay Area.
Yes.
So I'm kind of I'm going to ask you about how you get into all of this, but I'd like to know a little bit about the scene there for hip hop and rappers. So, what is it like in that area?
Well, there's a lot of like Bay Area rappers. I don't know if you've heard of like
No,
G-Eazy and I don't
who?
know a lot of G-Eazy.
Yeah, it sounds
Yeah.
similar. I'm
Okay,
sure I've
maybe heard of him. And there's a lot of like so the Bay Area rap scene started many years ago. I don't know exactly when, probably early 2000, like 1999, pre like 90s era
Uh-huh.
with Too Short and like Mac Dre and a lot of these older.
Excuse me, I got to sneeze. Hold on just a
That's
moment.
okay.
Keep talking. I can see.
Okay, so um, the scene started out a long time ago, and it's still pretty active. There's still a pretty big underground scene out here. Um, I don't know how big necessarily the scene is, but I just know that it's active. Um, I started my hip hop career actually in Portland, Oregon, and then I did like my first show in Vancouver, Washington. So I kind of bless you. So I kind uh, so I kind of got started out there, and then now I just kind of do things from home. I don't really do any gigs right now, but I would be looking forward to at some point maybe doing some shows. I'm gonna be doing some music videos soon. And I don't know. I kind of do it to have a creative outlet. I don't know if I'm going to be doing it like a super professional route at this time, but right now I've been doing this since December of 2009. I first started rapping. I started doing the being a hip hop artist rather, and I started recording out of San Rafael, California, which is nearby where I live now,
Uh-huh.
and met my first producer then. And you always, as a rapper, you always have to have like a good, solid producer behind you to have like
Yeah.
a good beat, you know.
Yes.
So I linked back up with a friend of mine from way back in the day that I met in Sacramento, and he's doing most of my helping me with my production right now. He
All
goes by
right.
the name of Zeno. So
So
that's
is
kind
that
of a summary of my background a little bit. Go ahead.
so?
Sorry.
How when did you start all this? I mean, when did you? Has it always been rap as you were growing up, or is this something that you kind of moved towards over time?
I moved towards it. I was on the drums for a little while.
Ah,
I was
you're
a
a drummer.
drummer. Did a little bit of drumming. I had an electronic drum set, and I was doing that at home, then going to the studio and practicing my drums. Did that for a little while. I started off on the piano and in
Oh,
the choir, the adult church choir, as a singer. So I really started kind of my musical in, talents as a singer and a pianist on the
Wow.
piano. And then I moved into making kind of my own beats and stuff. And I kind of like, I kind of got some feedback saying, yeah, you shouldn't be a rapper. And I'm like, well, I'm going to be a rapper anyways, right? Like, I didn't want to hear all the haters. Just to do it anyways, just get my stuff out there and just feel like I had that creative force of being able to just do it anyways, even if people may not like it. I just do it regardless of what people think, kind of
Oh,
thing.
that when you're an artist, and it doesn't matter what kind of music artist you are, uh, yeah, if you're not doing your own thing, it's not going to come off like you want it to. So
Yeah,
I completely understand that. And, like I said, I go to jams, and most of the people around here are rockers. They don't know country from beans, right?
yeah.
And I get up there and sing country songs. So far, nobody's throwing beer cans or boots, but I get
Well, I
it.
mean, it must be hard to translate like rock into country if people only listen to
Yeah,
rock and
no
they don't
clue. No clue.
they don't
But,
know have no clue about country, I guess, right? So
they're getting
that must
used
be
to
tough.
me. Yeah.
Yeah.
So how old were you when are you doing your drums and choir, and were you, yeah,
Well, I was before I was 18, so like my teens, I was in the adult choir at my
yeah,
church, and then even younger than that. So I'd say as early as age maybe what 8 or 9 or something. I guess I got a pretty early start, and I would go to these piano recitals and like play famous songs, and I'd like have to memorize the whole thing, and it was really nerve wracking. It's like a whole bunch of people. I go in there and like play Fur Elise or something, like one of those classical songs. And I would these piano recitals, and as I grew up, I was like, as I grew up, I always like listening to hip hop. There was something about hip hop music, and it's just always something I've liked listening to, and I kind of turned that niche into something that I could, do myself.
they too.
And so this year alone, I've put out about 14 tracks, and I'm by next year I'll have put out probably about 22 tracks, which
Now,
isn't
what's a
bad.
track? Track is a song? Is that
One song, yeah. Sorry,
I just
I've done
found
about
it.
22 songs,
Yeah, I just
and
found all of them. Tell us how we get to them again.
so
I just found them on
you can
YouTube.
go on Spotify or Apple Music or any of the major streaming platforms and just look up Formidable T,
Okay.
and you'll find me.
All right.
I'm
Who do
also
you
on YouTube, but I guess it's harder to find me on YouTube. I don't
Yes,
know.
it
You
is. For
probably
some odd reason, I don't
uh,
understand that.
I am
Why
on there. I found my stuff on there, but I guess it's maybe harder to navigate on YouTube for some reason because I don't have as many views on there as I do on
yeah,
the major streaming platforms.
yeah.
I don't
I don't
know.
have hardly any on Spotify. They don't like me there, but
Okay,
oh,
I've gotten a good amount of streams on Apple Music and Spotify this year, and I'm going to continue working hard on it.
all
Try to get
right.
some plays. So
Well, I got to play catch up now because I hadn't seen all those tracks on your.
okay,
But when you
uh,
put a song together, I think that I understand a little bit. Maybe I'm totally off, but it
mhm.
seems to me that if you're a drummer, you're already into the sound of beats. I don't
Yeah.
quite understand the piano part of it, but
Well, yeah, I understand. When I started making my own music, I started actually producing my own beats, my own background tracks, whatever you want to call it, instrumentals. And I did a lot of drum programming, and the drum programming comes in from like a left to a right kind of format where there's like touch pads and it goes from like left to right, and whatever you plug into that left to right programming is how the beat comes out. And so that
huh.
was helpful for me as a drummer to learn like the formatting of how one would make their own instrumentals, and I from there I kind of realized I like doing like freestyle hip hop raps and just started writing my own music, and I realized I really enjoyed making my own music, so it
Oh,
kind of
that's
just
that's the
natural
key.
progression,
Yeah, yeah. All right.
you know.
So you said that you were playing the piano in your teens. So
Yeah.
did you start hip hop in your 20s or
Yes, I did in my 20s.
Mhm.
Yeah. hmm
Okay.
Early
Now,
20s.
when I see hip hop, and I have no clue really, but when I see hip hop, I see break dancers and I see people on the dance floor having fun and lots of it.
Yeah. Yeah. That's the scene I'm going for. I want people to enjoy what I'm rapping, and I have some pretty good productions, some pretty good beats. So hopefully people can jam out to it, and if they
Yeah.
want to break out into breakdancing, so be it, right? You know, that's all
That's
the
so
better
cool
too.
stuff. Yeah.
That would be
So
awesome.
so I heard that at somewhere I read it. I have no clue. Maybe it was in your bio that you kind of like to keep some of this stuff happy or a slight yeah, slightly not comical. That's not the right word.
Comedic, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Tell me a little bit about that.
So I like to kind of keep an upbeat, kind of like sarcastic, kind of like attitude to my music in terms of, I lay down some real stuff that's happened to me, but also just it kind of comes off as I don't know, comedic in a way, but it's not, it's serious yet. Like, I don't know how to. It's like my own style, and I don't know how to really
How to
explain
really
that.
put it into yeah,
It's
for
hard to put it into words. I guess you kind of have to hear the music and kind of get an understanding for what I'm saying with
are,
that. But uh, it's
are
kind
you
of
able
thing where. Go ahead.
are you
Sorry.
able to say a little bit of it or some of the lines from it or sing it or play it or
Uh,
no.
not really. I mean, I can. I mean, so well, for example, I came out with a song that's called "Some People Be," and
Some
it's
people what? Some
"Some
people
People Be."
BE?
Some people be like some people be homeless, some people be locked up,
Ah,
some
cool.
people be some people be making a mountain out of a molehill.
Oh yeah.
so I so I like that track because I did a song called "Some People Be," and I really enjoyed it because I was like just talking about how some people just be a certain type of way, and I know that's not grammatically correct. Some people are, is
Yeah.
right. I think is how it's supposed to be. I don't know, but like I really like that track, and I did a track. I have some new tracks coming out. Let's see. Uh, make it work for them. Like work hard. This kind of theme to
Right.
it, and I got something called Purple Gas. I just like I don't know. I just have all
Yes.
these different purple gas. It's like purple gas, and it's like I don't know how to. I might have to pull up the lyrics. I kind of write them down and I kind of just record them. So I don't. I'm just giving some samples, but like it's
Yeah.
kind of like interesting stuff. You know, it's really unique, my music, and it's hard to put it into like a category. You know, per se. Like I think it's all really interesting stuff, and I think maybe it may not be everybody's cup of tea, but you know, maybe somebody will go out there and like what I have to say. You know, I don't know.
Absolutely. Yes.
I feel like it's cutting edge in the sense that it's just like me being me, and you know some people may like it and some people may not. I don't know. It's hard to say,
I
but
get it. I get
like
it.
I did a funny song about having sex in a cardboard box. I thought that was hilarious.
Okay.
So
What one is
so
that? I'll have to look that one up.
it's that one's coming out on my next EP for Middle Ambitions. It's called Cardboard Box,
Cardboard
and
box.
it's called Cardboard Box, and it's a song about being homeless and having sex in a cardboard box. And
Yeah.
I just thought that was hilarious. You know, I just didn't think anybody was writing anything about that. So, you know, a little explicit, but just funny, right? So that's an example of something that's coming out soon. I have it on, put it up through my distribution, and it's currently processing a 6-track EP. It's my newest one coming out, Formidable Ambitions. You
Well,
can
I'll
look
be
for it.
looking for it.
You
I'll
can
be
look for
looking
that
for
one. Yeah, it's a good one. So
so
there's
yeah,
I really feel like my latest tracks are really, really good. I've put out a little sampling on Facebook, and it has some previews to them. I think my latest ones are really. I think I put in some really good effort into these latest ones. So
sex in a
yeah,
cardboard box. That's
yeah. I know it's hilarious.
well,
Yeah,
I spent when
yeah.
I first came to Washington. I had a few things go wrong. I just got out of college and I came up here and I was newly divorced and I
Yeah,
was homeless for a while. I couldn't afford the prices
yeah,
of rent here, so
yeah.
I ended up renting with other people. And the lady, she threw me out for no reason. I don't know. She's just cranky
Oh
old
man,
lady. And I got thrown out on the street in the middle of the night. And it was a
yeah,
while before I finally got housing again because you need a down payment. You need another month's rent sometimes.
right,
And you just don't, when you're running with other people, you just don't know what you're going to run into.
yeah,
So I got to meet a few of the homeless. I refused to go in the shelters around here.
yeah.
They had some crazy rules. I was working at late at night in a club as a bouncer.
Right, right.
It
Oh
was a
gosh.
military club up here, and they want you up. I'd come home 3 o'clock in the morning after everything is cleaned up and whatever, and
Right.
they'd want you to be up at 8 o'clock in the morning. And the rules were stupid. I mean, I thought, what? And
Yeah.
I don't know where you're going with this, but I don't need it. So I ended up camping out in a primitive camping area. On Fort Lewis, so I was
Okay.
unperturbed. I had my phone; I could call out if I needed it, and yeah, there were other people there with me actually on Fort Lewis, soldiers who had no place to go, and they
Hmm.
were living in their trucks. So yeah, I can't even imagine that scene in downtown Seattle or LA or New York or Chicago.
Yeah, that's. I was homeless in LA last year, and so
Yeah,
I wrote a little bit of that in my tracks, just kind of
yeah.
like, and
Well,
you know,
we're
so
just people. We're people, and once you get down to the point that you have no home or roof over your head, it
yeah,
seems like the rest of the world isn't seeing that. I don't know what they're
right,
seeing. So
right.
what was the gist of the song you wrote about being homeless? What was the name of that one?
Oh, that was the Sex in the Cardboard Box one.
Oh, really?
Uh, that one was one of them. And then I'm writing a song called "Stories I Be Telling," and in "Stories I Be Telling," I have a reference to being in LA pushing a shopping cart.
Oh God.
So I have put that in the "Stories I Be Telling"
Oh my
song.
gosh. Oh
Yeah.
my God.
So
Here it'd be
few
sex
references
and
there.
dance. Too
Sex
cold for a
or
cardboard box.
pushing a shopping cart, right? Some of
Yeah.
the experiences.
Oh
I
my
don't know, just off the wall stuff. But
yeah.
you know, so it's pretty funny. But yeah, it's I try to make my stuff relatable or just kind of off the wall or just like I don't know, like it's in its own lane for sure. I mean, it's
Mhm.
not. Uh, I don't. At this point, I don't have like a huge audience, but I do get a few streams here and there, and I don't know. I do put my all into it, and I'm
Yes.
hoping that people enjoy it, and that's really all I can do.
Really. Yeah, I
Yeah,
have a lot of musician friends here, singer songwriters, and they have their music out there, but not all of them are going to town, if you know what I mean.
right. Yeah,
And they say if even two or three people are listening, you've already done the right thing. I mean, it doesn't take 10,000 people to have your music appreciated.
yeah,
And
that's true.
you never know when you're hitting the right person at the right time who may be going through something that's an inspiration too.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay,
So
so we kind of covered where you came from. So,
yeah, it's pretty good understanding of where I came from. Yeah.
what was happening during COVID? I mean, God, that was the time that you were
So
homeless.
yeah, I was homeless during COVID. I was homeless in 2020, and I I don't know. I basically was kind of decided I didn't want to be homeless in the Bay Area, basically, and I wanted to be somewhere what I thought was warmer. When I got to LA, I ended up sleeping in the rain for a while. It started raining, and I was like, "Well, this isn't working out any better, right?" So I kind of just after about 11 months of being homeless, I came back out here and settled down and got my act together. But uh, when you're homeless and it's during COVID, it's kind of like interesting. You don't really have to wear a mask. Like no one really cares what you're doing. So
Oh,
it's real
so
interesting. It's like, no one really wants to bother you, and it's like you get free food. It wasn't enjoyable, but it wasn't. I mean, I wouldn't say it was like as hard as I thought it would be to do that, but it was definitely a struggle. It was interesting, and that was my COVID experience, so it wasn't very good.
you know what?
You know?
A lot of times I found with country music, you're talking about your wife running off with somebody else, or
Oh
you know,
yeah,
oh yeah, crazy stuff like Johnny Cash, and you really, I think, to be relatable, sometimes you need those kinds of experience because when you have them, you're able to put that into your music in a very intimate way because you know what it is, you know what it's
yeah,
about, been there, done that.
yeah,
So you now have a day job, is that correct?
yeah. I have a day job. I work in electronics recycling.
What is electronics? What?
Recycling. I recycle e-waste
All right.
in a warehouse in
Yeah.
Nevada,
All
and
right.
of course, doing music outside of that. But I work 4 days a week, and I have some other stuff I got to do during the week that are requirements. Basically, I got in some trouble 3 years ago in 2018. I'm kind of trying to get that taken care of. So I have obligations outside of work that I have to
All
adhere
right.
to. I don't want to go too much into that,
Nah,
but basically, that's
this
not
one here,
really.
that's not what we're talking about.
We're not talking
Building,
about that.
no, we're
But
not. We're talking about
my job,
how you have to
my day
experience,
job.
yeah,
Yeah,
and
no,
what you experience to get these feelings and these moments into music.
my experiences come from. So like I have a song called "Back Against the Wall," and it's about feeling depressed and like feeling
Yeah.
anxious and stuff. And so I really like that song. It's coming out on my next EP, and check that one out. It's called "Back Against the Wall," and
Heck,
it's relatable to a lot of the emotions that people might go through when you don't get a lot of sleep or you're just kind of like depressed or anxious.
yes.
I wrote that song to kind of uh, express how I was feeling at the time, you know. And
Yeah.
so yeah, I have some tracks like that. I think I'm getting more into the emotional side of music, which is harder for me to do. A lot of stuff I do is kind of upbeat, but
Yeah.
I did one recently that was like that. So,
Yeah. Well, I
yeah,
get it. I get it. And, there, it doesn't matter who you are, everything that you have can be gone in a second. And then it's that struggle to deal with all those feelings and build yourself back up, which it sounds like you're doing with your music. So how do you
yeah,
produce this music? You said you had another
yeah,
person when we were talking earlier that
yeah,
helps you. Yeah.
yeah. So I record at home and then I send my tracks off to my friend and he mixes and masters them for me. And I pay a small fee for him to do that work for me, and he helps me come up with the cover art. So he does a lot of the background work, and I record on a Blue Yeti microphone. It's a USB microphone onto my laptop, and then I use headphones, and it comes out actually pretty good quality for what it is. I mean, I don't have like a super professional setup that I record on, but I record from home and I send the vocals, the tracks off to him, and then I get the final mix and master back from him in an email, and that's how it works. That's how I currently produce my music. So,
All right. Well,
yep.
I go to a studio to do it, and it's kind of a tedious process, and it's expensive. I mean,
Yeah,
I don't know what I'm going to do. Unlike you guys who can do a lot of your own stuff, I don't know where the money's going to come from because I'm sure don't ain't making any money at the moment.
yeah. Well,
But, yeah,
yeah, a
go
good sizable portion of my paycheck goes towards my music.
ahead.
Put it like that.
Yeah, yeah.
but
Exactly. I got a
it's a
little,
little bit less expensive than the studio, but
yeah,
it's still
yeah.
fairly expensive.
So I wish we could hear some of your music, but obviously that
Yeah.
we can't do that. But I think that I would have loved to have been able to play some of that music. I'm gonna have to learn how to. Maybe I need a different
Um,
stream platform.
uh, I apologize. I should have maybe gotten you a link or something you could play through
Yeah,
your sound or something.
yeah. I'd like to
Yeah.
know, some of these words that you're using, and one of I was
Yeah.
tired. I mean, especially that cardboard box and back up against the wall sounds like stuff that would have some great lyrics to it.
Yeah.
So what I was talking about earlier, um, about what that kind of language that's used in rap
Yeah. Yeah.
and hip hop, we don't
Right.
use that in country, and maybe should hell or damn and hope the FCC doesn't throw me off. But those are probably the three most terrible words that we use. And
Yeah.
and then moving into rock, and I hang around those guys, it's like, okay, um, what is this? So
Mhm.
I think that a lot of people, my friends and neighbors and so forth, uh, call it rap crap because of the language. They don't hear the meaning. They don't hear the words. They don't hear
Mhm.
they get hung up on how it's being expressed versus more conservative kind of music, and they miss the
Yeah.
whole point. They miss the whole point. And I have to say I've been guilty of that. And I have an instructor, a guitar instructor I've had for a year now, and I expressed something about rap because there was some country with rap in it. I can't remember who the guy is that did it.
Yeah.
And and he actually says, and he's country and blues, and he
Yeah.
said he appreciated the artistic music coming out of rap and hip hop, and that I needed to listen more closely to it and get the feel of what was being said and where it's coming from.
Yeah. For sure.
Yeah,
Yeah. It's you got to try to break past the language barrier.
yeah.
Yeah.
Hard. Now,
Definitely.
now the younger generation, people that are much younger, I would say probably 45 and younger. I mean, going back to teens,
Okay.
they
Yeah.
get it and they use that language every day. So, while us old people are shocked,
Yeah.
that's their thing. They get it. They really do. And so far my granddaughter is into this Eilish woman, whatever her name is. She's not rap,
Uh,
but maybe she'll
is it
what?
a pop person?
Yeah, yeah. I can't
Uh,
remember her first name.
pop
Something
singer?
Billy or huh?
Billie Irish?
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
Okay. Not that familiar, but
Yeah, I know.
uh,
Me neither, but I've seen her a little bit, and right now she's rebelling against the establishment. She's beginning to see through a lot of that BS, of the music industry.
yeah.
Um, as a recorder of rap and hip hop, do you have any connection or any feelings towards mainstream um, hip hop and rap music business?
Yeah. Yeah. I don't really like um, the hip hop that's talking about guns and stuff.
Mm,
I'm not a big fan of the gun language and drug use
yeah,
references and all that kind of stuff. I try to make meaningful hip hop and I try to make something that's just my own style, like I said, and I try to stay away from making it sound too mainstream. I don't really like mainstream rap. I just that's my personal opinion. Like other people listen to whatever they want, and I get that, but I kind of try to stay away from certain hip hop songs. Um, if I do listen to them, I kind of keep it in perspective. Like this is this person's style. This is how they
yeah,
maybe they grew up, or this is what they're
right,
dealing
right.
with.
Yes.
And maybe they are living in a place where there's guns all the time, and I don't know. So there's like I got to keep it in perspective, right? Like maybe this is how this person's lifestyle really is, and like it is what it is. But I try to I don't use any of that kind of references in my lyrics, so I try to be specific in the sense that I don't really encourage that kind of you know, even if it's art, I don't try not to encourage like talking about guns and drugs and sex and stuff if I can. I'll try to stay away from that kind of stuff because I'm not running around toting a gun. I'll tell you that much. So
Yeah, I get that. I
not anywhere close to that. But
country is a lot of beer drinking in country, a
yeah,
lot of drinking, and
a lot of
I know
drinking.
what you're saying. I don't do that, so I stay away from it. And thing is, I don't do it because I don't like it. I don't do it because I'm getting old, and it's a little
Right,
harder to do it than when you're younger.
right. Well, I've been there, done that with the drinking and the partying and stuff, and I kind of grew out of it. Like
Yeah.
it just doesn't really appeal to me anymore. But I get it. I mean, I've hung around a lot of people that listen to a lot of country and they drink a lot of beer, and so I get it. Like that's their thing. That's the part of the thing, you know. Like I
Yeah.
understand. I totally get it. You know what I'm saying? So I understand, but it's not my thing. But I get it. I can understand it. You know, at the bare minimum.
Do you
So
think? I think going forward now, after you've gone through the challenges that you've been facing, like most of us, at
yeah.
one point or another, um, what kind of things do you foresee you doing in the future other than the songs that you've mentioned? You said, how many tracks have you got? How many songs have you got out there that you're working on?
I currently have with this new EP I'll have 14. So I'll have a total of 14 right now. And
That's
then with the next EP I'll have 20, and I'm gonna keep probably by the end of next year I might have like a who knows, I might have 50, 60 different songs out by next end of next year. I don't know. I put out a lot of music, and the problem
oh,
is I'm running out of beats to use. So I'm gonna have to start figuring out. I'm gonna start looking for some more beats because I'm recording so much. I'm like kind of running out of tracks to do. So I'm kind of hitting a creative brick wall here. I'm kind of like
yeah,
trying to think of new content and just kind of
yeah.
just. I sat down one day. I think I did like 5 or 6 tracks in one day, and I just was like, I was like, I don't know how to do any more tracks. Like, what do you do now? You know,
Yeah.
kind of hit a creator's writer block there for a little while. Yeah,
Yeah, I've had that experience, and I write my own music. I write the chords to my music, right? And I'm
yeah,
like, there are times when I'm like, it's just blank. It's nothing there.
yeah.
Like,
So I'm hitting a wall right now. I'm supposed to get back on the studio, quote unquote, my computer, and put out some new content. But I just been I'm a little bit unmotivated recently. I don't know if it's the weather or
yeah.
what, but I'm
What's it
blaming it on the
rainy?
weather, I guess.
Is it rainy in California? What is going
Yeah,
on out there?
it's raining. It's raining. Yeah, yeah.
Why didn't they do that during the fire? The
I know.
forest fire
I know.
started.
It's a little bit late. It's global climate change or something. Something's going on.
Yeah.
It's we still have the drought. We still have I don't know if there's fires anywhere, but it's now rainy season out here for sure. So it's a
Well, it's
little bit late
raining
for the party.
today. In fact, we saw a few snow flurries, and that which my husband came home. He says, "It's snowing." It's no, it's not. It's raining. It's no, it's really snowflakes. I said, "How can
Uh,
you tell?"
right. Hard to tell. Gotcha.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we have these tracks coming up, and when you collaborated with other artists other than the man who helps you produce the songs?
Not yet. I'm working
No.
on a track with Sirius Mac from Washington. Uh, he's done a track with Bubba Sparks recently, and I'm gonna try to do a track with him, but that's my only feature that I'm doing right now.
So you haven't done it yet, but you're working on doing
Solo
it.
artist so far.
So
So
how are
far,
you
solo
guys
artist.
going to do it? Are you going to do it through stream?
I'm gonna send the vocals to him. He's gonna record his vocals, and then he's gonna mix and master the whole thing, and then send it back to me. So
Cool.
I do it electronically
Does he
through
have his studio?
email. Yeah, I think he has a studio out there in Washington. I believe. I'm pretty sure he has a place to record. Yeah,
All right.
yeah.
Well, you have to keep me posted. Now you're on Matured Musicians, right?
I am
About
on Mature Musicians and the Mature
and you're
Musicians
on my
group.
Facebook page. Yes.
I'm on your face. I talk to you on Facebook pretty frequently. Well, at
Yes.
least recently now, just leading up to
Messenger.
this interview.
Yeah.
Messenger, yeah. Yep.
So
I'm on
what I'd
Facebook.
like you to do, Formidable T, is make sure that you're putting this music in as it comes out, because there may be people that aren't making comments, that aren't necessarily making themselves visible, who are listening to this, and
Okay.
I think you get the kind of music that, if you can get past the that is worth listening to and enjoyable.
Yeah.
So,
Okay.
and I hope that you do post and let us know what you're doing, and hopefully we can try this again. So,
Sounds
other than
good.
that, what does music mean to you? You're a singer songwriter. You've put your music out there,
Yeah.
but what exactly is your inspiration? What does it mean to you to do this?
Well, music to me is everything. It keeps me motivated. I listen to a lot of to hip hop, a lot of reggae. I
Oh,
do listen to
reggae. I like reggae.
reggae. I listen to country here and there. Um, Luke Perry and just different. Sometimes some country artists I can't name off the top of my head.
Yeah,
Honestly,
yeah, I
like
know. Yeah, I
I don't
asked
know.
myself, I would
I
know.
I I pop onto like the new country, like playlist on Apple Music. I'll listen to like some of the newer stuff that's out there.
Mm.
Um, I listen to sometimes classic rock, Metallica, stuff like that, and like let's see what else I listen to. I listen to like electronic dance music, like
Oh, yeah.
Marshmello,
Yeah.
and um, just like a certain genre called trap music and drum and bass, and I listen to a whole bunch of different electronic music to kind of keep me going. And I really enjoy music. Music is just a passion of mine, and without music, I don't think life would have the same meaning to me. That's what I have to say. I think I really just there's something about music in general that I have to listen to some music every day to keep me just motivated, and
Yeah.
so I'm able to transpire my passion for music into something a creative pursuit like this hip hop here that I'm doing. And I don't think I mean, I might slow down a little bit next year, but I'm gonna keep pushing stuff out because I like doing it. It's just I get a lot of enjoyment out of it. I don't
Yeah.
know. It's just,
Yeah.
how else can you put it? I mean,
Music.
if you don't have a passion for it, you're not like putting your effort towards it. I don't think it would have the same meaning for somebody that it would like the way I have a meaning towards it. So
Absolutely.
yeah.
So what is well, thinking back, you've been producing and writing music for approximately 11 years, correct?
Almost a decade now. Yeah.
Yeah.
Actually,
And-
as of December, as of this month, I've been doing music for a decade now. Yeah,
Um,
long time.
it, during that time, what was there a time where music, something happened that was like the aha moment, something that you remember vividly that kind of changed everything, or is there a lot of moments like that, or any particular thing that stands out?
The first time I recorded a hip hop track, it was just I got a lot of enjoyment out of hearing it in my car, and just it turned out really good. And
Yeah.
then like it was my first time in the studio, and I remember a couple times like I did a whole uh mixtape in the studio in LA. I went to this guy's studio, and he was kind of up and coming producer out of Atlanta, and we took a bunch of popular songs and took their beats and made like a mixtape out of it. I remember that being an aha moment. And then my first concert, the first time I performed, was an aha moment because I was awesome. I loved it. Just there wasn't a lot of people there, but I got a lot out of it. I really enjoyed that.
So where was that? Where did you have your concert at?
Vancouver, Washington, in a club up there. I forget the name of the club right now. I don't know if
Oh,
it's still
Vancouver.
around.
Our
Yeah,
Vancouver,
Vancouver.
right? Yeah.
Yes, Vancouver, Washington State.
All
Yeah,
right.
not Canada. And then another aha moment was I was the sound engineer for a guy named OP1 out of Portland, and
Oh, I know. I've heard that name before.
yeah, he we since kind of had a falling out, but he moved into San Diego area since then. I kind of just had a falling out with this guy, but like I was doing his engineering for a while, and I really liked working with other artists.
Hmm.
And I think every time I able to put out a really good track, it's an aha moment for me. It's just like, oh man, when I get out a really good track and I hear it back on my headphones, and it's like, because you remember recording it and then you hear it back and you're like, wow, that really turned out really good. And I guess another aha thing for me is like I remember recording hip hop when I was like constantly on drugs and stuff, and like I'm like listening to it now where I'm totally sober. It's like I'm putting out some really good stuff now, like compared to back then where it's kind of like messing around, right? Like kind of just totally lit, and then just recording a track versus now where it's like I might have a cup of coffee or something, right? And that's it. So it's like there's a
Cool.
big difference there.
Yes.
So it's just I've come a long way, and I appreciate you having me here today. And
Oh,
you know, I
you're
just
welcome.
I,
Yeah,
I I I need to try to get more of these interviews so I can get some more
absolutely.
promotion.
Um, I'm gonna submit your name to a guy in the Vancouver area up in the mountains.
Okay,
Uh, he's I got a radio program, and
okay,
and he it's all about yard work and the green. It's the green movement as far as
yeah,
yards progress. And every now and then he interviewed me, and he does interview area singers. So he's got a following of like 20,000 people. So
nice.
I don't know if he's probably working today, but I'd like to submit your stuff to him and see if he'll contact you, or you can contact him and get your stuff out through him. He
That
not
sounds
only
good.
does the United States, but he does other countries worldwide. I mean, it's not just here. It's not just the United States. So
Nice.
that might be a real good start for you. And
That
I
sounds
have to
good.
say, I'm glad I met you because I have not ever been a rapper fan. Now, hip hop, I
Yeah,
guess I've always kind of liked that because I like breakdancing. I like these group dances, and
yeah.
there's and I forget what they call it, where everybody just starts moving to music. And,
It's like a mob dance or something,
yeah, yeah.
right?
And I'm thinking, "Oh, man." And I've listened to hip hop music, but, um, rap, when you say rap, they, dang, dang, something in there goes, and the ears shut off. Not anymore because there's a whole
Hip
world
hop would be a more appropriate way to refer to it. I don't think I would see myself so much as a rapper as more of a hip hop
as hip
artist.
hop. Yeah.
Yeah,
What I understand about that movement is their idea is to unite people and to
right.
gather them and have a good time, enjoy the music, enjoy the company, and move.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
And that's what you sound like to me. So I have to say, I
Uh,
definitely respect you, and I will not
Thank
forget
you.
this. I have
You
no
love
power.
the
What?
you said what? I'm sorry, I didn't catch that.
I said, I don't have any power, so I can't do much for you, but um,
Oh,
I have
that's
to
okay.
say, I really do respect what you're doing and your music in spite of
Thank
that.
you.
stuff I find
I
objectionable.
appreciate that.
You're welcome. And I do hope wish you all the luck and hope that in the future you keep us posted to what you have out there and things go better for you. And not many of us reach greatness, but with all those songs out there, sooner or later, somebody's got to hear it.
Well, the
And
people are listening. Oh, they're
if
listening.
they're listening,
I'll tell you that
then
much.
obviously gigs will come.
I'm getting a few things here and there streams wise, so
All
I'm
right.
watching my progress, and I'm getting some streams. Well,
Okay.
good.
Well, if you
Yeah.
ever get in this area, do keep us posted. So, if
Okay.
I get a chance, I'd like to
If I
hear.
make it out there, I'll try
Okay.
to do a show or something, I guess.
Well,
We'll see.
hitchhiking isn't such a good idea anymore, but
I know, right?
yeah.
It's tough.
Okay. Well,
So,
yeah, we've gone through a lot of stuff here in 45
yeah.
minutes. Is there anything else you have on your mind or would like to add or say that has nothing to do with my silly questions?
I just appreciate you having me on here, and what I want to say is just everybody go listen to my music if you can, and try to get some enjoyment out of it because I really do this for my enjoyment, for your enjoyment, and it's I was a little nervous coming into this, thinking like I wasn't, I'd mess up or something, but
Yeah,
I think it turned out pretty well, and I guess I don't have too much to add. I think we covered a lot of ground here today.
we did.
We
We
got a
did.
lot. I really did tell everybody about myself, and all that stuff's true. So, I don't think I got too much to add. I think we put a lot of content into this interview today.
All right.
So,
Thank you so much, Formidable T, A.K. Edward Travis Hartman. We've appreciated
yeah,
you. And I would love to see your progress. So hopefully in the future we can have you back again. And I
sounds
wouldn't be
good.
put off by if you see any stats or whatever, I will send you. I'll try to remember to send you, or you can ask me for them. They do show stats on stream
Okay.
as how many watched, but they don't always tell you how many watch it live. So it'll go
Okay.
from here, who's listening today live, and then it'll go onto YouTube in the future under my channel, which is if you go to search, just put in JoannLajeret, 3 separate words, Joanne Lajeret, and
You
you'll
got it.
see all my interviews and definitely see this one in the future. It's going to be there for as long as YouTube is out there.
I love this. I love this. It's great. Thank
All
you.
right. Well, you
All
have
right.
a good day. I'm so thankful I met you, and the best of
Thank you.
luck and happy. Well,
Thanks.
I don't know if
Happy
you guys.
holidays.
Yes. All
Merry
right.
Christmas. Happy New Year.
All right. Thank you
All
so
right.
much. All right.
Thank
Take
you.
care. Bye
Thank you
bye.
too. Bye.
Well, we're still alive. I enjoyed that interview, and this man is a good man, and he has an interesting career and a lot of music out there. May not be your thing necessarily, but your grandkids or your kids or your great grandchildren will be listening to rap. He corrected me, hip hop in the future. So thank you, everybody. I do want to wish you happy holidays. I do have an interview after Christmas, so now is the time for me to tell you that I wish every good thing in your life to happen for you, and especially in your music or your musical experiences. So take care. Bye.